How many of you guys out there are dog lovers? Personally, I love dogs. They're fuzzy, they're loyal, they smell weird, they can learn tricks, and they can even write. Wait. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at one of the most popular cartoons on TV right now. As all of you diehard Family Guy fans know, Brian Griffin, the dog, is an aspiring writer. This poetic pooch has published 2 books, but also maybe a TV series. What if Brian is actually the writer of the series Family Guy, a show about his experiences living with the Griffins? Okay, I know what you're all thinking. Brian? Family Guy is a cartoon. Brian isn't even real. Which, okay, yeah, that's all true. But what if we're watching events that have transpired in the show and then filtered through Brian's perspective? That would explain why he always serves as the straight, man-esque voice of the show.
Oh, it's freezing out here. We never should have left Quahog.
If this theory is correct, that means we're watching a show in a show that is created by a character in the show. Whoa, I'm feeling like there's Inception levels of levels going on here. And this idea does support the heavy quantity of episodes that feature just Brian and Stewie. Of course, the events that Brian has experienced firsthand would be the easiest for him to recount. The idea of Brian writing the show would explain why Stewie starts off the series as an evil maniac, but has gradually been transitioning towards a greater good. Because it is pretty common for dogs to act up or become resentful when a new baby is brought into the house. Also, the show is known for its frequent breaking of the fourth wall.
Hi, I'm Stewie Griffin.
In the episode Farmer Guy, Peter actually mentions that Fox arranges their crazy antics in advance. This reference to the network could point to greater behind-the-scenes happenings. Maybe Peter's remark can be taken literally, and Fox really does pay for the show within a show that Brian writes. So is Family Guy really a meta show within a show written by a talking dog? This theory seems pretty solid, but if Brian really is the writer of the show, why would he so often portray himself in such a negative light? Fans of the show are quick to point out that Brian is rather a self-deprecating character, so it makes sense. It's clear from the series that Brian is pretty pretentious, and the humor in Family Guy doesn't seem like something he would really write. But who knows, maybe you can teach an old dog new tricks. And in the episode Peter Problems, Brian said, "I have a job, I'm a writer, I'm working right now. This is the raw material of a picture of life I'm going to paint with words." This quote really does make it seem like this theory could be possible. I mean, he could have literally gone on to paint a picture of words of his life in a semi-autobiographical style, which is the show Family Guy. But a major flaw in this theory is time paradoxes. Also note, this is your spoiler warning. The most obvious and relevant instance of time shenanigans that tear a huge hole in this theory is when Brian died. Okay, fine. He came back to life and sometimes he hangs out at the Clam. But Vinny, his temporary replacement, appears throughout the series. When Stewie goes back in time to save Brian, it nixes the family ever having to get Vinny. No one would remember him, so no one could tell Brian about him. Brian wouldn't even know he died. Then again, the whole arc could have been something Brian cooked up completely on his own.
How you coming on that novel you're working on? Huh?
As I mentioned, if it is a TV show, not everything is going to appear exactly how it happens in real life. It makes sense for him to throw in some original crazy stories just to get those ratings up. There's a lot going on with this theory, but honestly, it feels like it's mostly speculation. That being said, I can't say it's not entirely unbelievable. In fact, it actually would be totally awesome if this turned out to be true. It's hard to flat out disprove this, so I'm going to give the Family Guy conspiracy 3.5 copies of Wish It, Want It, Do It, out of 5. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Cartoon Conspiracy. If you guys agree or disagree with my debunking or have any comments about this conspiracy, let us know in the comments below. If you guys are interested in joining the channel Frederator Network, you can click over here for more information. Make sure you guys check out that preview for next week's episode and catch up on any episodes you might have missed. And until then, I'll see you guys next week.